Welcome back to Keep It Real Boxing. This is Cypherbox, and what I want to talk about in this video is Canelo versus Triple G, the rematch. Now, just saw a couple of videos from Fight Hub TV, and they interviewed both Oscar De La Hoya and Tom Loeffler. Oscar De La Hoya was asked obviously about the rematch, and he said it's a fight that must happen, especially after what happened in the rematch, how close it was, the kind of fight it was. We must see a rematch. He was also then asked a question regarding the fight between Billy Joe Saunders and David Lemieux. If you don't already know, in a couple of weeks, Billy Joe Saunders travels to Canada to defend his WBO middleweight title against David Lemieux. And obviously, the stories you probably heard of it is that Canelo's gonna potentially face the winner of that fight. He also talks about another name, Daniel Jacobs, as a potential opponent for Canelo Alvarez. Now, Tom Loeffler has said that him and Oscar De La Hoya have had conversations. Oscar De La Hoya has confirmed this as well about the rematch, but they've not really discussed any details or finalised anything or put anything down in the contract. So it's all still up in the air whether the rematch is going to happen next or not. By the sounds of things, it sounds like to me that Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo, are going to go probably the route of facing the winner of Billy Joe Saunders and David Lemieux, which means that fight will happen in May, because Canelo now only fights on Cinco de Mayo weekends. He's kind of taken over those days from Floyd Mayweather since he's retired. Now, Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez seem, to me anyway, quite reluctant to have the rematch with Triple G immediately. So it's another reason why I feel that the fight's probably not going to take place till September, or at worst even next year. If you remember, if you watched my analysis video of the actual first fight where I broke down what happened in the fight, etc., one of the things I said was that I didn't believe there was going to be an immediate rematch. I didn't think it would happen straight away, and it looks like it's going to probably go that way. To me, I think Canelo Alvarez, I could be wrong, don't get me wrong, like I said, I can't predict things in boxing, but it just seems to me everything's pointing towards Canelo Alvarez facing Billy Joe Saunders or David Lemieux, depending who wins that fight, picking up a WBO title to throw in with his Ring Magazine belt. Now, a lot of people out there are going to be thinking, well, hold on, the WBC have ordered the rematch. Well, guess what? Canelo Alvarez, if you don't know, I'm going to let you know now, I said this before, Canelo Alvarez doesn't answer to the WBC. They can order as many rematches as they want between Canelo and Triple G. Canelo's not going to listen to them. Yeah, he's fallen out with these guys so many times in the last couple of years. It's unbelievable. Ever since he had to vacate the WBC middleweight title when he was ordered before to fight Triple G, and he had his court case going on and stuff like that, he relinquished his belt. He said he wasn't going to be dictated to by the WBC when to fight Triple G. He'll fight him when he wants to fight him. And he felt also at the same time that WBC made it out as if he was afraid to fight Triple G. So he's kind of not forgiven him for that, and he's dug his heels in and says, I don't want anything to do with WBC. He doesn't fight for their titles anymore. So even in the last fight against Triple G, the WBC title wasn't on the line because he didn't want anything to do with them. When the fight before that against Chavez, they made that special belt, that Cinco de Mayo belt, and he refused to accept it if he'd won, which he did. They had to auction it off and then give the proceeds to charity. So if you're thinking, oh yeah, the WBC have ordered it, forget it, because Canelo doesn't recognise the WBC as a boxing authority, and he doesn't do anything they ask him to do. So that's not going to happen. Now, like I said, the way I see it, I think Canelo's definitely going to go for Billy Joe Saunders or David Lemieux next, pick up a WBO title to go with that Ring Magazine belt, and then potentially have a fight in September with Triple G. Now, what does Triple G do in that time? Because Triple G, let's face it, does he just sit around waiting till September? If you didn't know already, just before the fight against Canelo, obviously his wife gave birth to a baby, obviously, so he's a father, etc. So whether he takes time out to spend time with his family and stuff, who knows? But I don't see it that way. I would like to think that Triple G would probably want to keep himself active. But there's a problem there. Now, if he does choose to keep himself active, he's gonna, I mean, who are the other names out there that he could fight? If Canelo's going for Billy Joe Saunders and David Lemieux, who is Triple G gonna go for? Well, there's only two names I can think of. Either a rematch with Daniel Jacobs, or he handles his business, which is his mandatory challenge from Jamal Charlo. Now, Jamal Charlo was told that, you know, he'd have to wait because the WBC have ordered the rematch between Triple G and Canelo. Not that it matters, like I've explained to you just now. I feel a little bit like the WBC have done that to protect that fight. Now, I'm not saying that they've done that to protect Triple G. I don't want people thinking that. That's not what I'm saying. What they've done is they wanted to protect that fight. The first fight was so big and so successful that the rematch is going to be worth a lot more money. So they've done that in a way to protect that fight. So they've told Charlo, well, we're ordering this rematch between Canelo and Triple G. You'll just have to wait for you, and then once that fight's over, you then face the winner because you are the mandatory challenger. But if this fight's not going to happen till September between Triple G and Canelo, what does Triple G do in that time? Does he just take some time off, you know, or does he keep himself active? And if he chooses to keep himself active, you would think he would have to fight Jamal Charlo. You know, you would think the WBC would have to order that, but there's no guarantee of that. Remember, guys, that until that fight won't happen until the WBC chooses to order it. So, you know, who does he fight? Daniel Jacobs again? That was a tough fight, a close fight the first time round. A lot of people saw it go Daniel Jacobs' way. A lot of people saw it go Triple G's way. Does he risk putting himself in a position where he could lose a fight? You know, because that devalues the rematch against Canelo. So there's a lot of questions there to be answered, in my opinion. Personally, if it was me, I'd like to see the rematch between these two guys in May. But I think we're looking at September or the following year, if not in September. And the question is what does Triple G do in that time? How does he keep himself active, or does he take time off? A lot of unanswered questions there. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Personally, I think if it ends up happening in September, I think Triple G should be ordered to, you know, to make his mandatory defense against Jamal Charlo. I don't see why you would wait. You know, it's November now. If the fight doesn't happen till next year, September, between Canelo and Triple G, that's what, 10 months? Near enough? Plenty of time to have that, you know, mandatory defense, and then go on to have a rematch with Canelo, in my opinion. That's all I've got to really say on this one so far for now, and obviously keep you updated with anything else that happens. But let me know what you think. What do you think about this whole scenario? Do you think Canelo and Triple G should happen in May immediately? Do you agree do you agree with me that you think Canelo's going to fight the winner of Billy Joe Saunders and David Lemieux? And if so, do you think that's the right thing to happen? And if that is the case, does Triple G wait till next year, September? Or does he take that fight against Jamal Charlo, and should the WBC order that fight while he's waiting around for Canelo? Loads of things there to answer, or loads of things to think about. Let me know what you think. As always, guys, like, share, subscribe. Until next time, this is Sidebox reminding you to keep it real.